Good morning. Welcome to today's meeting of the Assembly Committee on Government Affairs for the 2025 session. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Assembly members Carter, DeLong, De Silva, Edgeworth, Flanagan, Gallant, Golding, Gurr, Hunt, Jackson, Karras, Kasama, Wynn, Chair Considine.
I am here. If you would please mark Vice Chair Wynn absent excused and mark Assembly Member Carter as present when they arrive. Welcome to the audience here in Carson City, those joining by video conference in Las Vegas, and anyone listening over the internet. I would like to begin with some housekeeping measures. Please check and silence your electronic devices. If you wish to testify, please sign in at the table by the door and provide a business card to our committee secretary. When testifying, please turn on the microphone and clearly state your name and any affiliation for the record. Turn the microphone off each time that you are done speaking. If you are providing handouts, please ensure that hard copies are available for members of the public. And electronic copies should have been submitted to our committee manager by 9 a.m. yesterday for our committee members. As always, we expect courtesy and respect in our interactions during the meeting, even if we disagree with someone else's position. And committee members will be using their laptops to view handouts and other documents. Please do not interpret this as a sign of disrespect or inattention. And with that, let's get started. Today, we will hear three bills. We will begin with Senate Bill 301, which revises provisions relating to public employees. Next, we will hear SB 266, which revises provisions governing the student loan repayment for providers of healthcare in underserved communities program. And finally, we will hear SB 358, which requires certain units of government of this state to accept certain forms of payment. And I am ready to open the hearing on Senate Bill 301. To present this measure, we have Senator Dondero Loop and her co-presenter. So please go ahead when you are ready.
Good morning, and thank you, Chair Considine and members of the Assembly Committee of Government Affairs. I am Marilyn Dondero Loop, and I am the State Senator for District 8 in Clark County, and I'm excited to be here today to present Senate Bill 301, which revises provisions relating to public employees. Before diving into the specifics of the bill, I would like to begin with a brief background. As you know, in Nevada, local government employees have long been able to collectively bargain for wages and other conditions of employment. However, state employees have not been permitted to engage in this practice. To change this, the Nevada Legislature enacted Senate Bill 135 in 2019, which authorized collective bargaining between the state and certain state employees. The system of collective bargaining that has been in place for local government employees for about 50 years. It provided for collective and supplemental bargaining between the executive department and an exclusive representative for a wide range of subjects, including, but not limited to, salary of wage rates, and employee safety. Insurance benefits are not subject to bargaining because they are established by the Board of Public Employees Benefits Program. The bill also preserved the right of the governor to determine in the biennial proposed executive budget the amount of money for employees' salaries and wages without this action being construed as a failure to negotiate in good faith. Finally, the bill expanded the powers and duties of local government Employee Management Relations Board and renames it by dropping local from the title. In 2023, the Nevada Legislature passed Senate Bill 319, which would have expanded the authority to engage in collective bargaining to Category 1, 2, or 3 peace officers in the unclassified service of the state. While the measure passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, it was ultimately vetoed by Governor Lombardo. In his veto message, the governor suggested that unclassified positions should be reclassified to the classified service. This has not happened, and it is unfair that these unclassified peace officers, such as Gaming Control Board agents, are not authorized to engage in collective bargaining while their classified colleagues are authorized to do so. As such, SB 301, the bill before you today, authorizes Category 1, 2, or 3 peace officers in the unclassified service of the state to also engage in collective bargaining with the executive department. I would like now to introduce Mr. Rick McCann, who is going to give you some additional information as we move through the bill. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee, and staff. For the record, my name is Rick McCann, and I am here today representing the Nevada Association of Public Safety Officers and the Nevada Law Enforcement Coalition to help present SB 301. First, I wish to thank Senator Dondero Loop for sponsoring this bill with us, together with its many co-sponsors. Generally, existing law, which is currently 288.425, which was passed in 2019, states that for the purposes of having collective bargaining, a state employee is defined as one who is, one, or A, employed in the classified service of the state, or B, two, employed by the Nevada System of Higher Education in classified service. Again, the word classified. NRS 288.515, also passed in 2019, created bargaining units for several separate occupational groups of state employees. Since 2019, a few more bargaining units have been added by the legislature. But there are Category 2 peace officers who were left out of that category. Specifically, for our purposes today, gaming control agents who are in fact Category 2 sworn peace officers. Why is that? Because they are unclassified state employees as defined in NRS 463.080 sub 4. Section 1 of this bill in front of you, SB 301, merely seeks to add one sentence to the definition of, quote, employee, end quote, solely for the purpose of allowing them to collectively bargain, nothing more. Subsection 1B, inserted to include Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3 peace officers who are unclassified employees. Now, a moment ago, I mentioned NRS 463.080 sub 4. That statute defines gaming control board employees, with the exception of clerical employees, as unclassified employees. That's why they're unclassified. Statutorily, they are defined as such. But NRS 463.080 also requires that the Gaming Control Board establish and modify, as necessary, a comprehensive plan governing their employees. That means the board they have the right to permit collective bargaining for its peace officers, as we are attempting to do here in SB 301. Now, for the past 6 years, since we've had collective bargaining for state employees in this state, gaming control agents as Category 2 peace officers have been sitting by patiently while other Category 1, 2, and 3 peace officers have been benefiting from collective bargaining while they've been left out. Someone asked me at one point if putting these folks into collective bargaining would make them suddenly classified employees. That was a great question. So I went to gaming and said, you tell me. And they said, no. Placing them into collective bargaining will not make them classified employees. That can only be accomplished legislatively with changes to NRS Chapter 463, and that is not the purpose of this bill. It's time, we believe, that Category 1, 2, and 3 unclassified state peace officers, such as gaming control, be permitted to engage in collective bargaining like their peace officer brethren. And for these reasons, we ask that you support SB 301. Thank you for the privilege of your time.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Committee members, do we have any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will move on to testimony.
Really? Nothing? Really? Okay.
It was a very thorough presentation. I know my questions were answered. Testimony can be provided in person and here in Carson City via video conference in Las Vegas or over the phone, with instructions on providing testimony being found on the agenda. And we will begin here in Carson City with testimony in support of SB 301. Please begin when you are ready.
Kent Irvin, K-E-N-T-E-R-V-I-N, for the Nevada Faculty Alliance. We support SB 301 on the general premise that we believe that public employees in Nevada should have the right to collectively bargain, and that needs to be in statute. I would just like to address the issue of unclassified employees in the state. Most unclassified employees, I think there's 2,000, some of them, don't quote me on that exact number, but most of them in the state are high-level appointees who would be excluded from collective bargaining as managerial employees anyway under subsection 2 that's in this bill. But there are certain categories of unclassified employees, such as the category 2 peace officers here at Gaming Control, that are unclassified, but because of the way they're defined in statute, but they are rank and file employees. They are not managers. They deserve the right to collectively bargain along with their other peace officer brethren. Another category of unclassified employees that is a much larger group are the rank and file faculty at the Nevada System of Higher Education. Those folks are addressed in AB 191, which for the record does not conflict in any way with this bill, because it specifically excludes in its definition of professional employees covered anyone who is a member of a bargaining unit under NRS 288.425, which is where these folks are defined in this bill. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dan Gordon, D-A-N-G-O-R-D-O-N, for the record, and I am the president of the Nevada Police Union. Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. I represent all Category 1 state police officers, and I just want to let you guys know that we absolutely 100% support SB 301. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else approach here in Carson City, we'll go to Las Vegas. Is there anyone in Las Vegas wishing to testify in support of SB 301? Seeing no one approach, AVH, is there anyone on the line in support of SB 301?
If you would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 301, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Caller, you are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Arthur Emling, A-R-T-H-U-R-E-M-L-I-N-G. I am the president of Nevada Peace Officer Association. I'm in support of, good morning, Madam Chair and Assembly. I'm absolutely in support of SB 301. I represent Category 2 officers, Bargaining Unit H and Bargaining Unit M. And it would be a great thing for our law enforcement family at the Gaming Control Board to be able to take the opportunity to have collective bargaining. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, committee members. This is Andrew Regenbaum. I am the Executive Director of the Nevada Association of Public Safety Officers, and I was calling in to voice my support for Senate Bill 301 and wanted to thank you for your time and consideration of this bill.
Chair, we have no additional callers in support at this time.
Thank you. We will then move on to testimony in opposition. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 301? Seeing no one approach, we'll go to Las Vegas. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 301, please go ahead when you are ready.
Good morning, Chair Constantine, members of the Assembly Committee on Government Affairs. My name is Anahit Baghshetyan. For the record, that is ANAHITBAGHSHETSYN, and I'm a research assistant at Nevada Policy. Today, Nevada Policy comes in opposition of SB 301 Obviously and absolutely, we value the work and dedication of our peace officers. However, SB 301 would extend the collective bargaining requirements to the unclassified employees, as we heard today from the presentation. It risks setting a precedent and encouraging more unclassified employees to pursue collective bargaining privileges, which would potentially then lead to ballooning labor costs and weakening the executive branch's ability to regulate the market. Nevada already has one of the most permissive environments for unions in our nation. Our public sector collective bargaining framework is broader than what is found in most of the states around the nation. And the vast array of classified government positions and granting unions have considerable leverage in their wage and benefit negotiations. With already existing 15 bargaining units, expanding it to more risks, again, ballooning labor costs and messing with the market. It is important to note that this would not only create market distortions, but risks prioritizing organized labor interests over taxpayers' capacity and the broader public interest. So for these reasons, we stand in opposition today. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else in Las Vegas wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 301? Seeing no one, AVH, we'll come back to you. Is there anyone on the phone lines in opposition to SB 301?
The public line is open and working. We have no callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. We will now move on to neutral testimony. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in the neutral position on SB 301? Seeing no one coming up to the table, is there anyone in Las Vegas wishing to testify in neutral on SB 301? Seeing no one there, AVH, is there anyone on the lines to testify in neutral on SB 301?
Thank you. And the public line is open and working. We have no callers for neutral.
Thank you. Would the sponsors like to come up to provide any final remarks?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and committee members. Marilyn Dondero Loop for the record. Just thank you very much for hearing this bill, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. I will now close the hearing on SB 301 and open the hearing on SB 266. To present this measure, we have Senator Taylor. Please go ahead whenever you're ready.
I have a co-presenter. You good? Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Angie Taylor, and I proudly represent Senate District 15 in Northern Nevada. Today, we are presenting Senate Bill 266, which allows additional health care providers to participate in the Treasurer's Student Loan Repayment Program. With me today is Dr. Ruth Ann Wright, who is a licensed alcohol and drug counselor, marriage and family therapist, and psychologist. She's a triple threat. And at the chair's pleasure, I'll first provide a little bit of background information, if you will, Madam Chair. Okay, thank you so much. The Office of the State Treasurer administers a student loan repayment for providers of health care in underserved communities program. That's the big long name. It's the HEAL program. The program was established through Assembly Bill 45 during the 82nd session last session. The objective is to incentivize health care professionals to serve in the areas that are most needed. The program enhances health care access and equity in underserved areas of the state, and then it improves our overall numbers in our healthcare workforce, and we know how great of a need that is. When AB 45 passed last session, in a bipartisan way, we include a range of healthcare professionals, from physicians to nurses to social workers to midwives. However, AB 45 excluded several behavioral health care professions from being able to participate in the program. To fix this oversight, Senate Bill 266 will expand the definition of providers of health care in the pertinent statutes to include marriage and family therapists, clinical alcohol and drug counselors, and a licensed or certified alcohol and drug counselor. And this small change will allow these professions, these healthcare professionals, to participate in the program as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to my co-presenter, Dr. Wright, who will just provide some background information.
Thank you. As she said, I'm a triple threat, I guess. Pardon me?
Okay, you got your notes, okay.
All right. So
Would you please, I'm sorry, Doctor, would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Of course. My name is Ruth Ann Wright. It's R-U-T-H, capital A-N-N, W-R-I-G-H-T.
You're good.
Okay.
Don't worry, you're good. You're good.
I've held the first two licenses, that of being an LADC and an MFT, since 1988. And I'm new to psychology. I've only been in psychology as a licensed professional since 2009. I say that so you understand that I have a long history here, been licensed for 37 years. And I'm going to point out that MFTs have been licensed in Nevada since 1973, and alcohol and drug counselors since 1975, which is ahead of people who are included in this bill, like licensed clinical social workers, who have been licensed since, I think, 1989, and CPCs since 2007. So we've been around a long time, and frankly, I'm certain that we were just kind of, it was an oversight that we were left off. We're kind of at the bottom of the list, and I think we just didn't get copied and pasted. So I also, at this point in my career, focus on supervising interns. I have closed my private practice, but I'm supervising interns in MFT and CPC. And in that position, I see people who come out of graduate school and start the licensing process, and I know the kind of debt they have, and I know the expenses that go along with being an intern. I currently have an intern who is paying $350 that is very hard for her to come by to take a test so she can be licensed. So I know the kind of need that's there for interns in my field. And I also know that they want to help people in the state of Nevada. That's why they went into business. And it would be a great incentive for them to know they can apply for debt relief. It also, the people that I work with work in all kinds of agencies, organizations, schools. I have two former interns that are licensed and working in high schools. I've worked with people who provide services on reservations. I've worked with people who live like in the rural areas. So I know they want to serve those populations, and I think this would benefit them. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee members, do we have any questions?
Chair Considine, members of the committee, for the record, my name is Cadence Matievich, C-A-D-E-N-C-E-M-A-T-I-J-E-V-I-C-H, and I'm the Government Affairs Liaison for Washoe County. Expanding access to behavioral health resources is a priority for Washoe County. Recruiting and retaining behavioral health professionals is critical to being able to achieve this goal. We believe that this bill will provide an incentive for behavioral health care workers to come to Nevada and to stay in Nevada. We thank Senator Taylor for bringing the bill, and we urge your support.
Thank you. Alex Tanchek with Silver State Government Relations, representing Vitality Unlimited, here in support of SB 266. Vitality provides residential treatment, substance use disorder treatment in Elko and in Carson City, while also operating certified community behavioral health clinics in Elko, Dayton, Carson, and Reno. Vitality has a great need for workforce development within the field of addiction treatment, and particularly for rural Nevada, and this bill will help us grow an alcohol and drug counselor workforce. Thank you.
Kent Irvin, K-E-N-T-E-R-V-I-N, for the Nevada Faculty Alliance. We support SB 266 because it will help our students in these programs when they move on, particularly, unfortunately, many have accumulated student debt, and also because our constituents, our faculty, and as well as our classified colleagues desperately, they and their dependents desperately need more providers in all of these areas covered by the bill and the original statute. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of MedX Air One. MedX is based out of Elko. They are the ground and air ambulance provider up there. And they also have a very big interest in the mental health of rural Nevadans. Each year we have a summit of mental health providers, specifically from rural Nevada, and we meet at the beautiful 360 Lodge in Lamoille Canyon. I'd invite you to come up. It's gorgeous. What has been found in the 4 years that we've been having the summit is that this is the primary problem that we have getting mental health treatment to both juveniles and adults in rural Nevada. This particular piece of legislation, putting them in this category so that they could potentially receive some relief on the student loans that they get because they're going to provide those services in rural Nevada, we greatly support this piece of legislation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Committee. My name is Sabrina Schnur, S-A-B-R-I-N-A-S-C-H-N-U-R. I am here today on behalf of the Nevada Primary Care Association, which is the state's federally qualified health centers, as well as the Nevada Public Health Association. We are super supportive of this bill, very much appreciate the Senator for bringing it. We are also supportive of AB 269, which has been amended to add public health professionals to this group. So thank you so much for your work and your time.
Thank you. We will now move on to Las Vegas for testimony in support of SB 266. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education, and she's in support of SB 266. We appreciate Senator Taylor for bringing this forward and the benefits that this has for our graduates of our institutions and the benefits that it provides for our state. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Chair Acosta and members of the Committee on Government Affairs. For the record, Leonardo Benavides with UNLV, here in support of SB 266. I want to echo the sentiments made by many of my colleagues in regards to the helping address the shortages that we have in behavioral health care in Nevada. That's why also we are proud to work on AB 269 that the committee heard earlier as well. So we also support the mission of this bill. And thank you to Senator Taylor for bringing this.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Joelle McNutt, and I'm the Executive Director for the Nevada Board of Examiners for Marriage and Family Therapists and Clinical Professional Counselors. And I want to start with a brief summary of our scope of practice. So in NRS 641A.080, the practice of marriage and family therapy means the diagnosis and treatment of mental and emotional disorders within the context of interpersonal relationships. The term includes, without limitation, the rendering of professional marital and family therapy services to a person, couple, or family. This scope of practice is on par with the other behavioral health disciplines included in the definitions of this law. It is also important that both professions that our board represents be included in the definitions and that student loan repayment and forgiveness be available to marriage and family therapists. So our board is in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else at the table in Las Vegas, AVH will go to you for testimony in support of SB 266.
If you would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 266, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Caller, please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Good morning, members of the Assembly Government and Affairs Committee. This is Sheila Bray, spelled B-R-A-Y, with the University of Nevada, Reno. We, too, would like to express our support for Senate Bill 266 and thank the sponsor for her efforts in providing and increasing access to behavioral mental health services. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Dylan Dang. That's spelled D-Y-L-E-N, D-A-N-G, and I'm a pre-medical student at University of Nevada, Reno, and a youth fellow with 1API Nevada. I'm here today in support of Senate Bill 266, and as someone preparing for a career in healthcare, I've learned that healing is not only physical, it's mental, emotional, and often rooted in challenges people face in their everyday lives. That's why behavioral health providers, specifically therapists and counselors, are so important. They're on the front lines helping Nevadans manage complex issues that often go unseen. These professionals are also burdened with very high student debt and limited incentives to work in underserved areas where they're needed most. That's why SB 266 helps address that by allowing them to participate in the student loan repayment program. This kind of support not only eases their financial load, it makes it possible for more people to serve where they're needed most. For students like me who need to make a difference in medicine and public health, it's encouraging to see policies that prioritize equity and access and care. I urge the committee to pass SB 266, take the step toward building a stronger, more compassionate healthcare system in Nevada. Thank you.
Chair, we have no additional callers in support.
Thank you. We will then move on to opposition to Senate Bill 266. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in opposition of SB 266? Seeing no one, is there anyone in Las Vegas wishing to testify in opposition of SB 266? Seeing no one approach, AVH, is there anyone on the line in opposition to SB 266?
If you would like to testify in opposition of Senate Bill 266, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers wishing to provide testimony in opposition.
Thank you. We will then move to neutral testimony. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in neutral on SB 266? In Las Vegas, is there anyone wishing to testify in the neutral position on SB 266? Seeing no one, AVH, is there anyone on the line for the bill?
If you would like to testify in neutral for Senate Bill 266, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for testimony in neutral.
Thank you. Would the presenter like to make any final remarks?
Ooh, almost missed the chair. Thank you, Madam Chair and the committee, for this opportunity to start my Friday morning with the hardest working committee in the Nevada State Legislature. I really urge your support. As you can see, there's a great need for this, and I'm just grateful that we have an opportunity to add behavioral health to this bill. So I urge your support.
Thank you, and I will now close the hearing on Senate Bill 266 and open the hearing on SB 358. We have Senator Taylor here again. Thank you for staying to present this bill, and please go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, once again, good morning, Madam Chair and esteemed members of the hardest working committee in the Nevada State Legislature. Once again, my name is Angie Taylor, and I proudly represent Senate District 15, right here, well, not right here, but in Northern Nevada. It's my pleasure today to present Senate Bill 358, which requires certain units of government of this state to accept certain forms of payment from business leaders and so on in the state, business owners. This bill aims to enhance the efficiency and accessibility of payment methods for governmental entities in our state. By expanding the forms of payment accepted by these entities, we can better serve our citizens, streamline their interactions with governments, and really provide a much-needed level of support for our small business owners, which is really the onus behind this bill. Presenting with me here today is Mr. Paul Maracan, very familiar face with many of you, with the Las Vegas Chamber. And at the chair's pleasure, I'll give a little brief background of the bill and then turn it over to my co-presenter. In Nevada, we strive to enhance public services, to improve citizen interactions with government agencies, and support our small businesses. And by requiring governmental agencies to accept a variety of payment methods, debit cards, credit cards, checks, and so on, Senate Bill 358 aims to increase convenience of accessibility for individuals and for businesses. This approach aligns with the state's commitment to leverage technology and administrative reforms to enhance governmental services, making them really more user-friendly. At the end of the day, this bill really encourages encourages the use of credit cards, debit cards, mostly the electronic transactions, because believe it or not, there are entities that do not accept electronic forms of payment, which require people to go down in person to make their payment for their licensures and so on. And this bill is to help prevent our small business owners in particular from having to do that. So now I'll turn it over to my co-presenter, Mr. Moratkin.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Paul Moratkin with the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber would like to thank the bill sponsor, Senator Taylor, for working with stakeholders and local governments and chambers of commerce in development of their bill. So thank you so much, Senator. As you heard from Senator Taylor, the language found in Section 1.1 of the bill clarifies and standardizes the types of payments that must be accepted by Nevada's government entities from businesses. We have heard from members that sometimes certain forms of payments are not accepted, or there are limited payment options that can be frustrating or burdensome, especially when a small business is trying to pay a fee. These are common payment methods that you see every day in transactions in the private sector. That is why the Vegas Chamber believes that this is a good financial policy that government entities should offer multiple payment options to ensure accessibility, convenience, and efficiency for citizens and businesses, while also promoting financial inclusion and fostering a more user-friendly public sector approach. The Chamber believes that this is also good for governmental entities' electric payment options by offering greater efficiency and cost savings by streamlining payment processes because it reduces the time to process these payments, and we agree with the definition of the electronic transfer section found in 1.2 of the bill. Another benefit is that faster payment processing leads to better cash flow management for government agencies, allowing them to allocate resources more effectively. Also, as committee members know, electronic payment systems often have more security features, fraud prevention mechanisms, reducing the risk of errors, fraudulent transactions, which is important to financial operations integrity. It should also be noted that there is a conceptual amendment that's being developed to clarify payment methods that can be included but not limited to by state and local governments. So if they wish to take something else such as cash or money order, they will not be barred from doing so. This bill would enhance those electronic payments, as Senator Taylor said. Again, thank you, committee members and the bill sponsor for bringing the bill forward. We look forward to your support.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have just brought copies of the conceptual amendment. It's really just adding a few words in here, not limited to, and so we stand ready to answer any questions.
Well, my question was, do we have the amendment? So I'm done. Is there anyone else here on the committee that has any questions? Yes, Assemblymember DeLong.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much for the presentation. Could you just outline your reasoning or the logic for the various agencies that are exempt?
Absolutely. So there are certain agencies, because of the size of the sums that they take during the first House passage, they asked for those exemptions and to be able to comply with some of their rules or requirements that they have with their agency policy. So Department of Insurance had asked for one. The Cannabis Board had also asked, and just understanding some of their, I'm sorry, I forgot to clarify, Paul Moratkin for the record, so sorry, Chair. I'm so sorry, I know better than that. But it was just based on this, honestly, logistics and feasibility of those agencies need to be able to address those concerns.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we will move on to testimony. Thank you for your presentation. As always, we will accept testimony in person here in Carson City, via video conference in Las Vegas, or over the phone, and instructions for providing testimony are available on the agenda. We will begin here in support testimony in Carson City. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the Reno Sparks Chamber of Commerce and also the Silver State Chamber of Commerce. The Silver State Chamber is made up of many of our rural chambers in our rural communities. This is 2025, and it's surprising to me that this particular piece of legislation is being brought forward. The use of being able to use your credit card, debit card, and other forms of payment for state agencies is very, very important to our clients and our members. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Andrew McKay, Executive Director of Nevada Franchised Auto Dealers Association. We have dealer members in all corners of the state. And quite frankly, not to belabor this, this is just a simple common sense bill. It's good government. And it's going to be, I don't want to necessarily say godsend, maybe that's slightly hyperbolic, but it's going to be, well, I will use that word. Why not? It will be a godsend for some of our members, just simply due to the fact that it's going to improve and simplify some of their operations. Because some jurisdictions may take one form, some may take another, prohibit. This will at least create consistency across the board. So we fully support the bill and thank the senator for sponsoring it.
Thank you. Seeing no one else approach here in Carson City, is there anyone in Las Vegas wishing to testify in support of SB 358? Actually, seeing no one in Las Vegas, we will move on to AVH. Is there anyone on the line in support of SB 358?
If you would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 358, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Brian Wachter, W-A-C-H-T-E-R, with the Retail Association of Nevada. Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. First, we want to thank Senator Taylor for sponsoring this bill and her always superb co-presenter for bringing it forward this morning. The Retail Association of Nevada supports SB 358 because it reflects the modern expectations of Nevadans when interacting with both government and private industry. In the retail sector, the ability to offer flexible, convenient, and secure payment methods is not a luxury, it's a necessity, and our customers have grown accustomed to seamless digital payment options. From the retailer's perspective, a more tech-enabled and user-friendly public sector benefits everybody. This is why we support SB 358, because it promotes inclusion, convenience, and modernization, and we encourage your support. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Constein, members of the committee, Nick Ciccone, representing the city of Reno. We just want to say thank you to Senator Taylor for working with us on this piece of legislation, and we support the bill. Thank you.
Chair, we have no additional callers in support.
Thank you. We will move to opposition. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in opposition to SB 358? Seeing no one approach, we'll move to Las Vegas. Seeing no one there, AVH, is there anyone on the line in opposition to SB 358?
The public line is open and working. We have no callers for opposition at this time.
And then we will move on to neutral. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to testify in neutral? Begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair Considine and members of the Government Affairs Committee. Joanna Jacob, JACOB, on behalf of Clark County. This was our amendment that we worked on with the chamber that has been presented to you this morning with Senator Taylor. It actually reflects the conversations that we had in the Senate about multiple forms of payment. We know that it's been a barrier, especially with state agencies, for our local business licensing, that people have to go in person to a state agency to obtain first the state registration, and then it's a barrier for them to go then get a business license in Clark County. Very important to us. But the other issue that we had was that we have a large number of transactions and branch offices, and there was some consideration about, do we have to accept cash? We do accept cash for cannabis applications, but so the amendment saying multiple forms of payment, including but not limited to these forms, is something that we thought was very important for Clark County. So we appreciate the work of Mr. Marakin and Senator Taylor on this bill, and with as amended, we are neutral almost to support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will move to Las Vegas and then move out of Las Vegas, since I don't see anyone there. AVH, is there anyone on the line wishing to testify in neutral on SB 358?
Chair, the public line is open and working. We have no callers for neutral at this time.
Thank you. And if the presenter would like to make any final remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Angie Taylor, Senate District 15. I just want to thank you again for giving me this opportunity, giving us this opportunity to make this presentation. As a small business owner myself, I recognize just how much better it's going to make for our small business owners across the state. So I urge your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I will now close the hearing on SB 358, and we will move to public comment. Public comment is not an opportunity to rehear testimony on a bill, and we ask that you please keep your public comment to topics within the jurisdiction of this committee. As a reminder, members of the public can provide public comment in person or telephonically, and instructions for providing public comment telephonically can be found on the agenda. And also, you can dial 888-475-4499. When prompted to provide the meeting ID, enter 875-9099-9273, and then press pound when prompted for participant ID. Each person will have 2 minutes to provide testimony. Please remember to clearly state and spell your name for the record. Is there anyone here in Carson City wishing to provide public comment? Seeing no one, still seeing no one in Las Vegas. AVH will go to you for any public comment today.
Chair, the public line is open and working. We have no callers for public comment at this time.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be Monday, April 28th at 8 a.m. in room 3143. That concludes our meeting for today. The meeting is adjourned.